I got a great question on one of my recent live streams. What is my least favorite streaming service? That's a good one, and I had to think about it a little bit, so I did, and that's what we're going to talk about today. What is the worst streaming service? Let's dive in. Thanks for watching today, everybody. If you find this video entertaining, then go ahead and give it a like. Don't forget to join my Friday live streams. Like I said, today's topic came from last week's live stream, so I hope you're there. We can chill out, have a good time, do some giveaways, and you can give me ideas for future videos. So let's dive into this one. What is my least favorite streaming service? Well, that is obviously a subjective question. There's no objective way to answer this. But I did want to narrow it down a little bit, right? There are a lot of streaming services out there. Some of them are really good, some of them are truly terrible. So what I did was I limited it to the most popular premium services out there. So what I was left with was 9 streaming services. Now 4 of those are pretty upper tier, and it's going to be hard to argue that any of them would qualify to be near the bottom of this list. So Netflix, HBO Max, Disney Plus, and Hulu, they all escape judgment here, okay? So those are the 4 out of these 9 that I would say, hey, if you're gonna get any streaming services, those are probably gonna be the ones. But we're left with 5 others, and where do they rank? Number 5 is Prime Video. This one doesn't quite make the cut as a streaming service. Because it's attached to Amazon Prime as a whole, it's kind of a no-brainer for most people in the US because you're just gonna get Prime anyway, so you get the streaming service to go along with it. Yeah, it's a nice little perk. But as a streaming service just by itself, in a vacuum, it's really only good. One thing that drives me absolutely crazy, and this is going to be a theme with a few of these streaming services, is that off of its own hardware, this software is kind of terrible. So Prime Video as an app does not work nearly as well as you would want it to on Roku, on Google TV, on even Apple TV to a certain extent, although less so there. So as long as you've got a Fire TV stick or Cube or whatever and you're running Prime Video, the software looks okay, it runs fine, but once you get off of Amazon's own equipment, it slows way down and it looks awful. I'm showing you a picture right here that does not do the story justice. I'm pretty sure that they are showing me a menu in 360p at best. Now, how big a deal is that? I don't know, maybe not that big a deal because the picture, once you start playing it, is okay. But yeah, the menus look truly horrific. They also have kind of a bad recommendation algorithm as I've gone through over the years and tried to find things to watch. So for reasons I won't get into, recently I watched Predators, the 2010 Adrian Brody Predator entry, whatever. It's not a great movie, but they give me recommendations based on having watched that movie. And it's like Jennifer's Body and Apollo 13. I mean, come on. And what this tells you when the algorithm is that bad is that they might not actually have the library to support a good recommendation algorithm. So that's something to watch out for, is Prime Video has a ton of titles, much like Netflix, much like Hulu, but the titles are not of the same quality that you would get on those upper tier services. Number 4, and working our way down toward my least favorite streaming service, is Discovery Plus. Now, when Discovery Plus came out, I actually quite liked it. I gave it a very positive review, and I still continue to give it a very positive review. The only problem with it is that it's super niche. The good news is that Discovery Plus has a ton of programming on it. You have up to 20 different networks on Discovery Plus, and I do like the way that they lay out their content. It's really easy to find stuff that you want to watch based either on the cable channel that you used to watch all the time, or based on the type of content you want to watch, whether it's true crime or documentaries or what have you. But almost all of the content on Discovery Plus is unscripted content. So I hesitate to call it reality TV because, as we all know, there's no such thing as reality TV, but it is at least unscripted content. So that's only going to appeal to a certain number of people. It doesn't have a very wide range of content available for you to watch, and because of that, it can't really break into the upper echelons of streaming services, at least not premium streaming services. So yeah, this one is number 4 for me. Number 3, just below Discovery Plus, is Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus, if you recall, is basically the reskin of CBS All Access, which was an okay streaming service for a few years. Then they reskinned it, added a few originals and such, and made it maybe a little more okay than it was, but still, yeah, it's really just fine. They do have some original content, but most of it is middling at best. There are very few remarkable pieces of original content on Paramount Plus. I do like that they give you access to the live local CBS stream. So whether you're wanting to watch local news or local sports, they do let you do that, which is nice. But because of their library, because of how limited it is to CBS content, and because of how unremarkable those original shows are, yeah, it doesn't even crack past Discovery Plus on this ranking. Now, as long as we're talking about branded streaming services, let's go to Peacock. This is NBC's streamer, and it comes in at number 2, very nearly the bottom here. Now, again, let me reiterate that these are all good streaming services. We're just talking about which ones are my least favorite. And yeah, unfortunately, Peacock does come in close to the bottom here. What I do like is that Peacock is kind of experimenting with the free tier. This is something that I hope other services kind of jump onto, but it does get a little bit confusing because instead of just a free tier and a paid tier, Peacock opted to go with 3 different tiers. So you can pay nothing monthly and have commercial supported programming, but then you only have access to about half the library on the streaming service. If you pay $5 a month, then yeah, you do get access to the full library, but it's still commercial supported. Or you can pay $10 a month and get access to the entire library and almost never have to watch commercials. So did that sound like a lot? Because it is a lot. I would much prefer it if they just said, hey, you either pay or you don't, you watch commercials or you don't. That's not the way they opted to go. We'll see how the experiment plays out over the next year or two, but yeah, it is a little bit confusing and frustrating to me. The other thing is that this app is kind of buggy. Okay, so whether I'm using it on my Roku, on my Fire Stick, on my Chromecast, I do tend to get some bugs in this app. So I'm trying to watch a program, I click on it, it does nothing. It doesn't click into the show page, it doesn't give me a play option, and I have to restart the app to get in and finally get to the show. So it's frustrating, right? I mean, obviously that's frustrating, and I could forgive it if it happened every once in a while, but this tends to happen fairly frequently. Every few times that I go into the app, I find that I'm not able to get into my shows. I have to relaunch the app. Yeah, very annoying. That brings us to number 1, my least favorite streaming app out there, and this breaks my heart, okay? I didn't think it would go this way, but as I was doing the rankings, it was unavoidable. Apple TV Plus has to be ranked at the bottom of these premium services. And speaking of buggy, like I was with Peacock, Apple TV Plus is very buggy off of the Apple hardware. Okay, so kind of like I was talking about with Prime Video working best on Fire TV sticks or cubes or what have you, it's the same thing here on Apple TV Plus. If you're watching it on your iPhone, your iPad, your Apple TV device, it works fantastically well. But as soon as you get off of that hardware, they just don't really seem to be paying attention to how those apps are operating. I literally cannot watch Apple TV Plus on my Chromecast. It crashes it every single time. Now you could blame that on the hardware, except that every other app that I run on that device runs perfectly smoothly. It's just Apple TV Plus. And the same thing happens to a lesser degree on my Roku, on my Fire Stick. So Apple TV Plus has some real issues with its buggy software that I really need to see them take care of before I could ever think about bumping them up the list. And then there's the content. Now this is something that we talked about when Apple TV Plus came out almost 2 years ago, was the lack of content. So when it came out, they had, something like 20 or 30 titles maybe when it launched. It was a really sad amount of content, but the content was very good. However, you can only get by on that for so long. Like I said, it's been almost 2 years now, and they've gone from 20 or 30 titles to about 70. So when you're talking about Apple TV Plus versus some of these others that have huge back catalogs, whether it's Peacock or Netflix for that matter, or Amazon Prime, they do have monstrous, huge back catalogs, and Apple TV Plus simply can't compete with that. So as much as I love, and I do love their original content, I love Ted Lasso, See, For All Mankind, The Morning Show, they make some great stuff, they just don't have anything behind those to back it up. So that's my ranking. I know, like I said, this is a very subjective thing, and your rankings are going to be a little bit different. So I want you to hit the comments and give me your top 5, or really bottom 5 streaming services. Let me know which one is the worst out of these and which one is the best. I know we'll all come to very different conclusions, but that's the fun of it. So hit the comments, remember to play nice with each other, and yeah, let's have some fun down there discussing which ones are at the bottom of this particular barrel. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Again, join me on those Friday live streams. I'm here every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. You can come hang out. We do giveaways. You can give me topic ideas. I love to see you there. So yeah, have a good one.